Messer, president and owner of Messer Truck Equipment. I want to welcome you to Messer Truck Equipment here on Warren Avenue in Westbrook. We've been around for 121 years. We were founded in 1899 by my great-grandfather, and actually we'll go up the stairs here in a minute. I'll show you some pictures. But this is our showroom here. This is where we do our part sales, and we also have some of our equipment that we sell on display. So we build work trucks for vocational industries. So the plumbers, electricians, contractors, municipalities. We put together those trucks that you see on job sites. So we're installing flatbeds, dump bodies, service bodies. We do snow plows, cranes, sanders. If it can go on a truck, we can do it. That's what we like to say. Let's go upstairs. I'll show you a little bit about the history of the company. So on the right is my great-grandfather, Walter Messer, who started the company in 1899. And then you can see to his left is my grandfather, my father, and then myself. I've been involved in the company since 2003 and took over from my father in 2008. And then here on the wall is just some of the literature pieces of the products that we sell. So it shows the breadth of our products. We do everything from trash trucks to lift gates to get heavy objects into the back of your trucks. Cargo vans, we do a lot of van shelving and ladder racks. We do dump bodies and service bodies in steel, aluminum, and fiberglass. It's really a whole cornucopia of truck equipment and accessories. And like I said, if it goes on a truck, we have access to it and can install it. All right, we're in the shop now. We wanted to talk about one of the projects we're working on. We can talk about some of the skills necessary to do this. But this is kind of what arrives in our shop is this truck. So the cab, the frame rails, the wheels, and that's what we start building on. That's our blank canvas. This is a subframe hoist that we're welding down to the frame of the truck. And so this is hydraulically operated. This lifts up. There's a hinge point here at the rear, and this is what the body will get welded down to. You can look behind the truck here, and we actually have the body. This comes pre-manufactured from the factory. We will then weld that on top of that hoist, and this will actually be able to dump. So if you have product in the back, stone, mulch, this body would dump to the rear. They could dump their load and then go get more product. Some of the skill sets needed to do this, welding, to be able to get the subframe to stick to the truck frame, to be able to operate a MIG welder, to have hydraulic understanding on how to run the hydraulic lines, and then 12-volt DC, how to tap into the truck's existing battery system to gain power to operate the electric pump that runs the hydraulic system. We do train on site here, so certainly you don't have to know how to do all that stuff when you get here, but just have an understanding of those, basic understanding of those systems and how they interact together. We'll move on now to another section of the shop and show you some other jobs over here. This is another product line that we do quite a lot of here at Messer Truck Equipment. It's upfitting cargo vans with van shelving. So this van showed up here empty. All there was a driver's seat and a passenger seat, and the whole back was completely empty. This van will probably be going to some sort of vocational trade. It could be a plumber, electrician, has a lot of workspace in here, so the tradesman can put his tools, his equipment, his parts and pieces all in the back here. So we get all this material from a company called Adrian Steel. We then install it per the customer's request, where they want the drawers, the door units. We go over it with the salespeople on exactly where they want the stuff, and then we nut and bolts, tie it all together and bolt it right through the floor and through the walls to create this cargo management solution for the customer. This customer in particular also needed a power source. They needed 110 volt power to charge their power tools and run some other items, and so we're installing a 3,000 watt inverter that gets powered off from the van's batteries, and we run wires, and this will be mounted in one of the cabinets so that they can then have 110 volt power in the van and charge all their tooling as well. So some of the skills needed here is obviously mechanical ability to be able to see some plans on how to put together this van kit, what pieces and parts go where, and then how to install them. Some drilling needs, setting in some threaded fasteners, and then nut and bolting it all together to get it to be fixed here in the back of the van. Some 12 volt electric to install the inverter and wire that properly. I think that's it.
They got to be able to read and understand directions.
Yes, and so that's good. Thank you, Matt. We have some instructions from the manufacturer that show exactly how to install these. Step by step, it takes you right through. So the ability to read, view pictures, and understand what you're seeing is all helpful. Now we're going to move on to our central gathering area where we have our metrics board. All right, we're in the central meeting area, so every morning at 10 we gather as a company to update each other on what's going on, where we are in our metrics, and we also have our banner here that talks a little bit about our mission, visions, and value as a company. So our mission statement is right there in the center, a world-class team setting the standard for the work truck industry. And then we have our family tree here. So it's rooted in our 121-year history. The branches talk about being agile in the present, and if we do that, we'll have a flourishing future. And then we also have our core values of fostering integrity, delivering quality, and creating value. And we've really made it core to our company that we want to live those every day, and that's why they're here and we talk about it every day. So we really do hire on attitude and those people that embrace those values and really make them as part of their daily lives. We also have some metrics that we measure. We have our open orders, we have the number of quotes that we've had the previous day, we have our total revenue sales, we look at our accounts receivable and how far behind we are there with the money coming in. And we also look at metrics throughout the shop. We have a safety, a quality, a delivery, and an environment metric that we report on every day and we track via the calendar. We also have updates on what's going on in the work environment. Obviously COVID-19 has all the headlines here, but if anything needs to be put out, it gets put out on this board as well. And then we also have the Messer B attitudes. It's the attitudes that we want people to be. Stuff as far as being respectful, being clean, being safe, being honest, humble, and just being open and communicative is what we expect of all our employees. And so hopefully when COVID-19 is all said and done, we'll be back meeting together as a company. Obviously with the 6-foot separations, we've gone to a virtual meeting via email to get the word out to our employees. But when this is all done, we'll be back meeting together as a big family. So we'll go on to another work bay and show you another job in progress. So this is a body that's manufactured by Knapheide, one of our larger vendors and suppliers. It's what's called a gooseneck body or a hauling body. Some skills needed to set this down. You need to be able to accurately read a tape measure and figure out the length of the frame and how the body's going to sit on the chassis. And there's obviously guidance given in installation instructions, but then there's also some 12-volt DC electric needs to tap into the marker light, to tie the truck's electrical system into the body's wiring harness, so that's operating properly, and then also routing the fuel lines that come out through the body so that you can get the fuel into the chassis fuel tank through the body as well. Not a whole lot of welding on this one, but if we rotate over to the bay adjacent to us here, you have an aluminum body that was manufactured by one of our vendors called Allcom, a company here in Maine. That requires some aluminum welding to mount the long sills and mount that to the truck frame. And then there's also some steel welding to weld the hitch onto the rear of the truck. And then another 12-volt DC application to be able to take the body harness and tie that into the chassis electrical system, identifying what wires go where. They're all color-coded. You can see the different colors. You have stop, turn, tail, running lights, brake lights, and backup lights, and then the ground tied into that as well. So again, having a basic understanding of 12-volt DC is great to know, as well as the ability to weld, read a tape measure, mechanically understand how to fasten that body to the chassis. I think next we're going to check out our paint department and talk about some of the skills there. We're in our Vortex bay. So this is our spray-in liner. You may have heard of Rhino lining or Linex. It's a coating that goes on the back of truck beds to preserve it, to keep it from getting dented or scratched. You can see here we've installed it on a service body, and this is done by our painter. It's sprayed on with a couple of different coatings, and it has this kind of pebble finish to give it some grip to it. But it will extend the life of these truck bodies and keep them from getting dented, scratched, and corroding over time. So you need the ability to set up the machine, proper proportions, and then it's just all the spraying technique and how to lay it down. So we do have a paint shop here where we mix our own paint, and we spray all these bodies that are being installed in our shop. And the next step, I'm going to show you our 60-foot paint booth and talk about some of the tasks that are done there. All right, so we're in our paint space here. Like I said before, we paint the majority of bodies that are installed in our shop. We have a 60-foot cross-draft paint booth here that's all well lit. Don't have a job in here right now, but this is where the jobs would come. We would shoot them to match typically the cab color, so we need the ability to select the right paint and match it, and also prep it properly, so sand it and then mask it. And we actually have a job here in one of our other painting bays. This is a lift gate that we installed, and we're painting out the black trim to match the truck body. And so you can see it's all masked with paper and tape. And then you've got to properly treat the surfaces so it gets sanded and they're primed, and then we shoot paint over that. And so some skill sets there is obviously the proper preparation, making sure the surface is ready to accept paint, and then mixing the paint in the proper proportions, understanding the math behind that, and then learning the skills to actually apply that paint and to blow it on, let it dry, and then remove all your paper and deliver it to the customer. All right, we're up in our outdoor inventory area. We have 4 fiberglass service bodies that we've custom fabricated these racks on to the customer specs. So over time, we've built a spec for the customer that meets their needs and what they need to do their jobs each day. We've translated that into some building plans, given it to our shop technicians, and they've welded and fabricated these racks that are installed on these bodies. We're awaiting the trucks to come from the manufacturer. I believe these are General Motors trucks. Once those are produced, these bodies will get mounted. There's lift gates that go in the back, and then they're delivered to the customer. We can rotate around and you can see some of the inventory we have. We've got service bodies that are waiting to be installed on truck chassis. We have stainless steel dump bodies, as well as regular carbon steel bodies that are all primed black and ready to be installed. Van bodies, truck caps. It kind of shows the breadth of all the product that we have that's ready to install here at Messer Truck Equipment. Right, we are here in the warehouse. This is where we hold most of our inventory that's getting installed in the shop. This particular area is all the Adrian Steel product. You saw that being installed earlier in the cargo van. A lot of stuff gets moved by fork truck that you see in the back here. one of the skill sets needed in the warehouse is the ability to operate the fork truck, to be able to offload product out of the trailers, bring it into the warehouse, sort it, and then pick it and bring it out to the shop. We do fork truck training off-site. We have a trainer on staff as well, so you can get your fork truck certification. We're going to move this way, and you can see there's a lot of inventory. These cardboard boxes all house partitions and shelving and bins and parts and pieces that get assembled to the finished product that you see out in the shop. Here's Riley. Just
hi, how are you?
Stepping into his workspace. So he's our warehouse coordinator. He is doing a lot of shipping and receiving. So he's accepting this product, receiving it in, he's sorting it, making sure it's going to the right product, the right bins, as well as shipping stuff out as it's sold. So he has to be meticulous in his details, make sure that he has all of the information that he needs. He's working through our inventory software, which is QuickBooks, so he has to have an understanding of that. The ability to use Microsoft Office and be able to send emails and communicate via that are all some of the basic skill sets that he would need to do that job. Really the lifeblood of the company though is to get those parts and pieces from here out into the shop so that they can do their work, because we want them working on the shop floor, not running around looking for parts and pieces. That's Riley's job.
I would also add too, when it comes to that particular job, if it's parts or if it's inventory or something like that, there's a personality, there's a customer service component too, because Riley has to build relationships with all of our vendors and have working relationships so that we can help each other when we need it.
Absolutely. I think it goes back to the company culture piece. The piece we saw there in the central huddle area is emulating those values that we have as a company and being part of that culture. Certainly if you don't have those values and kind of reject that, then you're not going to work in the company culture, and it's going to be tough to come to work every day because it's just not going to be a good fit. So we really are looking for people that are tied to that piece about the integrity, the quality, and the value that you bring to the team, and that you want to be part of a team player, or be a team player, be part of a team, be part of this family. You know, we are a family business. My name's on the building and have a long family history, so we're looking for people to come be part of the Messer family.